on a subject as, right. So I think it's extremely important on a subject such as this that all members of the community get involved. And it's something I care deeply about, which is why I am part of this community and why I'm very happy to work together with you. Maybe just briefly on my background. So I'm based in Switzerland. I'm half British, half Swiss. I have a background in entrepreneurship and startups, which really allows me to understand what you are going through as you build and scale your own businesses. So I can very much empathize with also the struggles that come with trying to work with very large multinationals. There's a lot we're going to try and do this year to try and help with that. But first of all, let me start by thanking you for joining. Engagement is really what makes this community work. So the fact that you're taking your time here when you could be doing something else is really something that we do not take for granted and we value very much. Okay, right. So for the year, how we want to do this, there are kind of two tracks that we're focusing on. One is consolidating what we have already. So how can we work more to support you and to make things better for you? And then the second part is expansion. And of course, this is kind of cat and mouse because there's no we community without obviously our member buyers. And so this is something that goes in tandem. So the priority for us, and really our North Star metric, if you like, is deal making. We want to get our member buyers to actively buy from you. Setting up opportunities, talking, meeting is wonderful, but at the end of the day, it's the deals that matter. And that's really what we try to drive towards. And this is why it's very important, as Valeria mentioned earlier, when these do happen, that you share that with us. And we're going to ask our member buyers to do so too. So how do we get to these deals? The key part is being targeted. And that is the number one thing for us. We need to be a lot more specific with both you and with our member buyers. So our member buyers are being asked to fill out a survey so that we can really understand what are the categories they are looking to buy in, what are the countries that they're looking to buy from. And then with that information, we're going to take it down to a regional and local level to try and get you in front of the buyers themselves. Okay? But for this to work, we also need information and engagement from your side. So it's an unfortunate fact that at the moment, our we community is not where it could be. So a lot of our member buyers who go in there, they find profiles that are incomplete or lacking information. And unfortunately, this has a negative impact on the whole community. So here, I think, what's really important is to understand our shared responsibility. If there are some incomplete profiles, it affects the perception of the whole we community for the whole member buyer community, if that makes sense, right? So it's not just about the fact that we community allows you to have a window in front of all these buyers, which is an incredible opportunity, but it's also about furthering the conversation and promoting gender equality by making sure that this community drives value and that we can attract more buyers to it. So that I really think is important. What we're going to do as well, we're going to share some best practices. We've been speaking to our member buyers about what is really relevant for them, what information they need to see in your profiles, and we'll be communicating that next week so that these can be updated. Of course, communication is a critical part of this relationship, and it needs to be two ways for us to work together well. So there are a few things we want to do around that, and we need your feedback. So first, how would you like us best to share information in the newsletter? What are the most relevant bits of information you're looking for? How can we, best serve you? Because obviously receiving a newsletter, we get so many of them. We want to make sure that it's relevant for you, that there's information you can take out of it, and that there are actionable points. That's part one. The next thing we would like to do, and again here, perhaps I'll take a pause and zoom out and discuss the value proposition between being a women-owned business that is registered and being certified as a women-owned business. And of course, I do apologize to those of you that would like to be certified, but in countries that we don't yet certify. Please, bring this again to our attention. As we find out which countries are relevant for our member buyers, we will continue to grow that option. So for you as a women-owned business registered on our platform, you of course get this exposure to our community of member buyers. And from someone who comes from a startup background, this is extremely valuable. This is really, all these birds in one place, all these member buyers who are looking actively to buy from women at your disposal. If you imagine going down the high street, look in at the windows, you need to decide if you're going to go in or not. Now, what I would ask you to do is look at your own We Community profiles and just ask yourself, is this a profile that you would buy from? Yes or no? And that is, for me, I think, the critical point and that the kind of hard reality. If you are a buyer who is very pressed for time and who has a lot of work, you're scanning through a profile, are you getting the information you need to make a decision? Do I want to get in touch? Yes or no? And that's something, a benchmark we should all hold ourselves to. So as a women-owned business, of course, then you also get access to events. You get access to some additional training material. There's different opportunities to meet our member buyers also in person. And some things we would like to add to that as well. So how can we make that even more valuable? So what we would like to do this year as well is we would like to start an Inspiring Women guest speaker series. So we would like to bring women forward who have gone through incredible journeys that are not even necessarily related to your businesses, but who have inspirational stories to share. And this is important because we all have to dare to dream. That's how we're going to break any glass barriers that we may be imposing on ourselves or that society is perhaps imposing on us. There are also then these Meet the Members. So we would like to also share the recordings of those with you so that you understand what is relevant, what members are looking for, and how you can better prepare yourself then for those meetings. We also want to bring in more training. So we work with a lot of great partners who have put great training material forward because we know that there are a lot of areas that a lot of you have the same pain points in. And so we're going to try and make that material more easily available for you. And of course, being part of We Community, please always check the opportunities field where our member buyers are posting their proposals, their RFPs. This is super valuable and lots more of them are doing so and will continue to do so as we encourage them throughout the year. So, just to be clear, registration is free. So I think that's quite an incredible value proposition. But now let me talk to, what it is about being certified. So first of all, the price of certification is now divided over 3 years. So actually it becomes a lot more affordable. And if you compare it, obviously, because I realize for a lot of you who are small and medium size, you have to be looking at your expenses. So obviously here, if we compare it to the expense of, for example, traveling, attending an event or a conference, etc., I get that. But let me just explain now what you are getting from certification and why we believe it's so valuable. So first of all, most of our member buyers actually have internal targets that they've set. We were just speaking to some earlier today who have the target of buying from 10% of their purchases to come from women-owned businesses. But in order for them to be able to track that, they need you to be certified. And so they're actively searching using a filter for certified women-owned businesses. So by not being certified, you run the risk of being overlooked for a lot of purchasing opportunities. What we also want to do, so of course we have the Meet the Members, and those are in person, a chance to be face-to-face with these member buyers. We're going to also do them virtually and in hybrid formats so that it can be easier for more of you to attend. Obviously, traveling can still be expensive, time-consuming, etc. And we're really encouraging our members to bring, again, their local buyers as well, and to really share share and communicate with you what they're looking for, what is necessary in order to win that business. But what we also want to add now as a new event is what we would call Meet the WBEs. So here, this is going to be virtual, and we're going to invite WBEs by category, so very much category specific, to pre-record 3-minute pitches. And we'll, of course, share pitch practicing and support you in that respect. But the idea is then we're going to bring a large number of member buyers who are specifically interested in that category to these events. Your pitches will be played. And after that, there will be a virtual networking where you as a WBE will have your own table And there'll only be 10 at a time. So it's really limited, hyper-focused. You will each have your own table, and member buyers can then join and interact directly with you. And these are events that we'll continue to do throughout the year, which we believe then will really help to put you specifically in contact with member buyers who are looking to buy from your category in your country. What we would also like to do, because I know you have a WhatsApp community, we would like to migrate that to a chat community. It could be Slack. We're looking into the details. And the idea here is that then it's about crowdsourcing support for each other. As women-owned businesses, as in any business in general, we all tend to come across the same challenges at some point or another. And so here it's an opportunity to share, for example, if you're facing a challenge, to share that with the wider community and to get their support on how they address that, how they went over that. Noreen, I see your comment. Don't worry, this is something we can discuss further. It's of course not obligatory, but the point is also it's not a community to complain. It's a community also to share opportunities. You know, perhaps there's an opportunity that you've been approached by, but that you can't address. You can share it with other women-owned businesses. And also, don't forget, it's an opportunity to buy from each other. As all of you scale your businesses, do not hesitate to go into We Community and see if other women-owned businesses can service your needs. And this is a key point. How can we buy from each other as well? Because remember, we have a huge community and one that we will continue to grow. As Valeria mentioned, the women-owned logo, this is something that you can use, and that raises a lot of awareness and is extremely valuable now as the conversation around supply diversity continues to grow in Europe. And another point now, part of the two-way communication and why we believe this is really important that A, you have access to us, and B, us to you. So either by these meet and greets and other events, is also because we need your feedback. What events do you feel we should be representing you at? What partnerships would be important for you? What communities are relevant that you would like us to approach on your behalf to drive the conversation forward? This is really important and something that will help. So I hope everything is okay so far. Don't worry, we'll take questions and answers at the end. What we will be doing as well, as I mentioned, we're sending a survey to our member buyers. We are preparing a survey that we will share with you. And your participation here is so important. It is slightly more comprehensive. But again, by taking the time to fill it in, we will use that information to better match you. So this is you investing in the opportunities for better matching with our member buyers. We also, of course, have our in-person events. So it's great. We have Sarah here. She's putting together a fantastic event in July in London. So on the 11th and 12th, she shared the link in the comments. And of course, we have our International Day on the 20th of March in Nashville. Now, I understand, obviously, it's expensive to go to the United States, but for any of you who are looking to enter the US market, this is an incredible opportunity. You will have everyone who's anyone there under one roof. So it's really something worth considering, and I strongly encourage it. Right, now, that's around consolidation. How can we really help you out? When it comes to expansion, our member buyers are always looking for us to grow the database, because the more women-owned businesses we have there, the more they will join, the more opportunities there are to buy from. And here, this is something that we can work on together. You know, for us, the kind of overarching theme of what we want to do this year is help us help you. We can only amplify, but you need to put in the footwork. You need to make sure that your We Community profiles are strong. If you're in touch with other women-owned businesses, talk to them, share with them about We Community. Why? Because this helps you. The more we can draw member buyers to the platform, the more opportunities you will get to sell. And we're going to be doing more awareness raising and so on as we approach, for example, International Women's Day and throughout the year. Right. I'm going to leave it at that for now. We're going to send a follow-up email next week with the recording of this, with more information and bullet points, more, let's say, useful material, also around questions on certification, questions around how you can improve your We Community profile, etc. But we're going to stop there. If you have any questions and answers, sorry, any questions, I would love to